Ooh wee. I know. I know God will humble you. He will sit you down real quick, real nicely, and say, "No, honey, go ahead. You had your time." Like God said to me, God said, "I gave you 10 years to do what you wanted to do. It is my time." When God calls, you listen. When God speaks to you, hear him out. Because when you don't listen and when you keep running from God, God's going to eventually stop you dead in your tracks. He's going to make things and put you in situations that are so uncomfortable. There's nothing else that you're going to be able to do but to cry out to God, to surrender to God. And trust me, I know you don't want to put yourself in that situation. You do not want to have to be in a situation where you are begging God for mercy. Yes, he's going to give it to you. Because God is a forgiving God. He's going to always give us his grace and his mercy. But when you put yourself in situations and create situations that you didn't have to be in simply because you want to be disobedient, simply because you want to be avoidant, simply because you want to do what you want to do, ooh wee, I know, I know God will humble you. He will sit you down real quick, real nicely, and say, "No, honey, go ahead. You had your time." Like God said to me, God said, "I gave you 10 years to do what you wanted to do. It is my time. I let you. You heard me. You heard me calling you, Charity. You heard me calling you. And you just kept running and running and running and running." I was like Jonah. I didn't get swallowed up by a fish, but I was so disobedient. I was raised in the church, okay? My family, my father was a pastor at a time, and I had ran away from God. I didn't stop believing, but I have ran away from God, and I stopped going to church, and I put my faith and my trust in man and stopped believing the way that I should have. I didn't stop believing in God, but I stopped casting all my cares and falling at his feet and throwing myself to God as I should. I was running from his calling. I was running from my God given purpose. I said, "I'm not worthy. I'm not that type of person. I don't want to be that person," is what I kept saying. I'm not religious. I believe in God, but I don't want to go to church. I don't want to do this, right? I don't want to do that. And God kept calling me, kept speaking to me, kept putting me and allowing me to go through certain things, and I would just resist. He kept revealing things to me, and I just said, "I don't want to see it. I don't want to do it. I'm not." And ooh, child, because of my disobedience, what a mess I made. What a mess you've made. What a mess we've all made. Because we want to be afraid. We want to be scared ultimately because we don't know what it is that God has for us. We just know that God is calling us to do something, and we say, "Not now, God, not now." Or, "I'm not worthy of this. I'm not good enough. Oh yeah, that was my dad, not me." Or, I don't know what to say, Lord. Why you keep telling me to do this? I don't know what to say. And God said, "Let me use you. Let me use you." And I kept running, and I kept trying to fix things on my own. I kept trying to do things my way. And just like Jonah, God put me in my place. He stopped me dead in my tracks. I was in So much chaos. I was not at peace. I was in turmoil in my own home. I struggled day and night, full of anxiety, just uncomfortableness, and stressed out, worried, burden upon burden upon burden. Felt like it was just weighing down on me heavily. And finally, God just told them to throw me overboard. And when I got thrown overboard, like Jonah, and was able to sit and cry out to God, I heard God speaking to me and telling me, I'm going to get you through this. Trust and believe. I'm not leaving you here. You are going to get through this. This is not what you were destined for. This is not the life that I want you to live. This is not your purpose. But first, call upon me. Surrender. Hear my voice. Cry out to me. Answer me. I've been speaking to you. Answer me, God said. And when I finally answered God, suddenly I felt peace and an overwhelming presence of peace. That anxiety that was always creeping up on me, keeping me up at night, looming and lingering and hanging over me day after day after day, feeling like I'm going to lose it, suddenly was no more. And giving myself to God and being obedient to God and just humbling myself and being at God's mercy and crying out and repenting and say, God, I'm sorry, God. Forgive me, God. Your will shall be done. I will follow you, God. I am here. I am your child. Let me be a vessel for you. It took a lot to get me where I am and to continue to get me where I'm going. But I know this because I've been there. I resisted. I ran. When I surrender, God started showing up for me. Not that he hadn't been showing up for me. And it was just in the subtle ways, like being at peace at times when I would have felt uncertainty, giving me rest at times when I would have been restless, taking burdens off of my shoulders and letting other people step in at a time when I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And God did it for me, and he will do the same for you. Just stop running. Surrender. Be obedient. Whatever it is that God is calling to you to do, do it. Whatever it is that you're running from, stop. Trust in God. Take that leap. Have faith. He's done it for me and so many others. He will do it for you. So today I asked you, what is God calling you to do? What is it that you've been ignoring? What is it that you're running from? Because God is telling you, he is speaking to you. If you made it this long into this video, if you made it this far, you know that God is speaking to you. Hear his voice. Drop in the comments below. I will be obedient, and I trust you, God. And watch what God does for you. If you found this video helpful, please comment, like, subscribe, and continue on this journey with me. Remember to trust in God and listen when he calls you. Until our next video, I love you. Be blessed. Bye.